Abandon.
Abandon.
They had to abandon the project due to lack of funding.
They had to abandon the project due to lack of funding.
Abstract.
Abstract.
The concept was too abstract for the young students to understand.
The concept was too abstract for the young students to understand.
Academy.
Academy.
She was accepted into the famous music academy.
She was accepted into the famous music academy.
Access.
Access.
Students need a password to access the online library.
Students need a password to access the online library.
Accommodate.
Accommodate.
The hotel can accommodate up to 300 guests.
The hotel can accommodate up to 300 guests.
Accompany.
Accompany.
He will accompany her to the airport.
He will accompany her to the airport.
Accumulate.
Accumulate.
Over the years, he managed to accumulate a large collection of books.
Over the years, he managed to accumulate a large collection of books.
Accurate.
Accurate.
The scientist provided an accurate analysis of the data.
The scientist provided an accurate analysis of the data.
Achieve.
Achieve.
She worked hard to achieve her goals.
She worked hard to achieve her goals.
Acknowledge.
Acknowledge.
He refused to acknowledge his mistake.
He refused to acknowledge his mistake.
Acquire.
Acquire.
She managed to acquire a good understanding of French.
She managed to acquire a good understanding of French.
Adapt.
Adapt.
Animals must adapt to their environment to survive.
Animals must adapt to their environment to survive.
Adequate.
Adequate.
The food supply was adequate for the entire trip.
The food supply was adequate for the entire trip.
Adjacent.
Adjacent.
The park is adjacent to the school.
The park is adjacent to the school.
Adjust.
Adjust.
He had to adjust the settings on his camera.
He had to adjust the settings on his camera.
Administrate.
Administrate.
She was hired to administrate the new program.
She was hired to administrate the new program.
Adult.
Adult.
The movie is suitable for adult audiences only.
The movie is suitable for adult audiences only.
Advocate.
Advocate.
He is an advocate for environmental protection.
He is an advocate for environmental protection.
Affect.
Affect.
The weather can significantly affect our mood.
The weather can significantly affect our mood.
Aggregate.
Aggregate.
The aggregate score of the two teams was impressive.
The aggregate score of the two teams was impressive.
Aid.
Aid.
The organization provides aid to those in need.
The organization provides aid to those in need.
Allocate.
Allocate.
Funds were allocated for the new project.
Funds were allocated for the new project.
Alter.
Alter.
She decided to alter her plans for the weekend.
She decided to alter her plans for the weekend.
Alternative.
Alternative.
We need to find an alternative solution.
We need to find an alternative solution.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
His answer was ambiguous and confusing.
His answer was ambiguous and confusing.
Amend.
Amend.
They agreed to amend the contract.
They agreed to amend the contract.
Analogy.
Analogy.
He used an analogy to explain the concept.
He used an analogy to explain the concept.
Analysis.
Analysis.
The analysis revealed some surprising results.
The analysis revealed some surprising results.
Annual.
Annual.
The annual meeting will be held in December.
The annual meeting will be held in December.
Anticipate.
Anticipate.
We anticipate a lot of interest in the new product.
We anticipate a lot of interest in the new product.
Apparent.
Apparent.
It was apparent that she was upset.
It was apparent that she was upset.
Append.
Append.
You can append the document to the email.
You can append the document to the email.
Appreciate.
Appreciate.
I really appreciate your help.
I really appreciate your help.
Approach.
Approach.
We need a new approach to solve this problem.
We need a new approach to solve this problem.
Appropriate.
Appropriate.
Her response was appropriate to the situation.
Her response was appropriate to the situation.
Approximate.
Approximate.
The approximate cost of the trip is $500.
The approximate cost of the trip is $500.
Arbitrary.
Arbitrary.
The decision seemed arbitrary and unfounded.
The decision seemed arbitrary and unfounded.
Area.
Area.
This area is known for its beautiful scenery.
This area is known for its beautiful scenery.
Aspect.
Aspect.
One important aspect of the job is time management.
One important aspect of the job is time management.
Assemble.
Assemble.
We need to assemble the parts before starting.
We need to assemble the parts before starting.
Assess.
Assess.
The teacher will assess the student's progress.
The teacher will assess the student's progress.
Assign.
Assign.
She was assigned a new project at work.
She was assigned a new project at work.
Assist.
Assist.
The nurse will assist the doctor during surgery.
The nurse will assist the doctor during surgery.
Assume.
Assume.
I assume you have completed your homework.
I assume you have completed your homework.
Assure.
Assure.
I assure you that everything will be fine.
I assure you that everything will be fine.
Attach.
Attach.
Please attach the file to the email.
Please attach the file to the email.
Attitude.
Attitude.
His positive attitude helped him overcome difficulties.
His positive attitude helped him overcome difficulties.
Attribute.
Attribute.
She attributes her success to hard work.
She attributes her success to hard work.
Author.
Author.
He is the author of several best-selling novels.
He is the author of several best-selling novels.
Authority.
Authority.
The authority decided to close the park.
The authority decided to close the park.
Automate.
Automate.
The company plans to automate the production line.
The company plans to automate the production line.
Available.
Available.
The product will be available next week.
The product will be available next week.
Aware.
Aware.
She was not aware of the changes.
She was not aware of the changes.
Behalf.
Behalf.
I am writing on behalf of my colleague.
I am writing on behalf of my colleague.
Benefit.
Benefit.
Regular exercise has many health benefits.
Regular exercise has many health benefits.
Bias.
Bias.
The article showed a clear bias against the policy.
The article showed a clear bias against the policy.
Bond.
Bond.
They formed a strong bond over the years.
They formed a strong bond over the years.
Brief.
Brief.
She gave a brief summary of the report.
She gave a brief summary of the report.
Bulk.
Bulk.
We buy our supplies in bulk to save money.
We buy our supplies in bulk to save money.
Capable.
Capable.
She is capable of handling the situation.
She is capable of handling the situation.
Capacity.
Capacity.
The stadium has a seating capacity of 50,000.
The stadium has a seating capacity of 50,000.
Category.
Category.
The book falls into the fiction category.
The book falls into the fiction category.
Cease.
Cease.
The company decided to cease operations.
The company decided to cease operations.
Challenge.
Challenge.
The new job will be a challenge for him.
The new job will be a challenge for him.
Channel.
Channel.
She changed the TV channel to watch the news.
She changed the TV channel to watch the news.
Chapter.
Chapter.
He finished the first chapter of his novel.
He finished the first chapter of his novel.
Chart.
Chart.
The chart shows the company's growth over time.
The chart shows the company's growth over time.
Circumstance.
Circumstance.
Under the circumstances, we had to cancel the meeting.
Under the circumstances, we had to cancel the meeting.
Cite.
Cite.
She decided to cite the source in her essay.
She decided to cite the source in her essay.
Civil.
Civil.
They had a civil discussion about the issue.
They had a civil discussion about the issue.
Clarify.
Clarify.
Can you clarify your last statement?
Can you clarify your last statement?
Classic.
Classic.
The book is considered a classic in literature.
The book is considered a classic in literature.
Clause.
Clause.
The contract contains a confidentiality clause.
The contract contains a confidentiality clause.
Code.
Code.
He learned to write code in school.
He learned to write code in school.
Coherent.
Coherent.
Her argument was clear and coherent.
Her argument was clear and coherent.
Coincide.
Coincide.
The two events coincide with each other.
The two events coincide with each other.
Collapse.
Collapse.
The building began to collapse after the earthquake.
The building began to collapse after the earthquake.
Colleague.
Colleague.
She is a respected colleague at the firm.
She is a respected colleague at the firm.
Commence.
Commence.
The ceremony will commence at noon.
The ceremony will commence at noon.
Comment.
Comment.
She left a comment on the article.
She left a comment on the article.
Commission.
Commission.
The commission will investigate the issue.
The commission will investigate the issue.
Commit.
Commit.
He is ready to commit to the project.
He is ready to commit to the project.
Commodity.
Commodity.
Oil is a valuable commodity in the global market.
Oil is a valuable commodity in the global market.
Communicate.
Communicate.
They communicate regularly via email.
They communicate regularly via email.
Community.
Community.
The community came together to help the victims.
The community came together to help the victims.
Compatible.
Compatible.
The software is compatible with all devices.
The software is compatible with all devices.
Compensate.
Compensate.
He was compensated for the extra work he did.
He was compensated for the extra work he did.
Compile.
Compile.
She will compile the data into a report.
She will compile the data into a report.
Complement.
Complement.
The wine complements the meal perfectly.
The wine complements the meal perfectly.
Complex.
Complex.
The problem is more complex than it seems.
The problem is more complex than it seems.
Component.
Component.
Each component must be tested separately.
Each component must be tested separately.
Compound.
Compound.
The medicine is a compound of several ingredients.
The medicine is a compound of several ingredients.
Comprehensive.
Comprehensive.
They conducted a comprehensive review of the policy.
They conducted a comprehensive review of the policy.
Comprise.
Comprise.
The team comprises experts from various fields.
The team comprises experts from various fields.
Compute.
Compute.
The program can compute the answer quickly.
The program can compute the answer quickly.
Conceive.
Conceive.
She couldn't conceive such a brilliant plan.
She couldn't conceive such a brilliant plan.
Concentrate.
Concentrate.
He needs to concentrate on his studies.
He needs to concentrate on his studies.
Concept.
Concept.
The concept of the game is simple.
The concept of the game is simple.
Conclude.
Conclude.
We can conclude that the experiment was successful.
We can conclude that the experiment was successful.
Conduct.
Conduct.
The scientist will conduct an experiment.
The scientist will conduct an experiment.
Confer.
Confer.
They conferred about the best course of action.
They conferred about the best course of action.
Confine.
Confine.
He was confined to his room due to illness.
He was confined to his room due to illness.
Confirm.
Confirm.
Can you confirm the reservation?
Can you confirm the reservation?
Conflict.
Conflict.
There was a conflict between the two parties.
There was a conflict between the two parties.
Conform.
Conform.
She refused to conform to the new rules.
She refused to conform to the new rules.
Consent.
Consent.
They gave their consent to the proposal.
They gave their consent to the proposal.
Consequent.
Consequent.
The heavy rain and consequent flooding caused damage.
The heavy rain and consequent flooding caused damage.
Considerable.
Considerable.
She made a considerable contribution to the project.
She made a considerable contribution to the project.
Consist.
Consist.
The dish consists of several ingredients.
The dish consists of several ingredients.
Constant.
Constant.
He was in constant communication with his team.
He was in constant communication with his team.
Constitute.
Constitute.
These documents constitute the entire agreement.
These documents constitute the entire agreement.
Constrain.
Constrain.
Time constraints forced them to make a decision quickly.
Time constraints forced them to make a decision quickly.
Construct.
Construct.
They planned to construct a new building.
They plan to construct a new building.
Consult.
Consult.
You should consult a lawyer before signing the contract.
You should consult a lawyer before signing the contract.
Consume.
Consume.
She consumes a lot of coffee every day.
She consumes a lot of coffee every day.
Contact.
Contact.
You can contact me via email.
You can contact me via email.
Contemporary.
Contemporary.
He enjoys contemporary art.
He enjoys contemporary art.
Context.
Context.
You need to understand the context of the situation.
You need to understand the context of the situation.
Contract.
Contract.
The contract was signed by both parties.
The contract was signed by both parties.
Contradict.
Contradict.
His statement contradicts the evidence.
His statement contradicts the evidence.
Contrary.
Contrary.
Contrary to popular belief, the earth is not flat.
Contrary to popular belief, the earth is not flat.
Contrast.
Contrast.
There is a stark contrast between the two colors.
There is a stark contrast between the two colors.
Contribute.
Contribute.
She contributed a lot to the discussion.
She contributed a lot to the discussion.
Controversy.
Controversy.
The decision caused a lot of controversy.
The decision caused a lot of controversy.
Convene.
Convene.
The committee will convene next week.
The committee will convene next week.
Converse.
Converse.
They conversed for hours about their plans.
They conversed for hours about their plans.
Convert.
Convert.
He converted the files to a different format.
He converted the files to a different format.
Convince.
Convince.
I managed to convince him to join us.
I managed to convince him to join us.
Cooperate.
Cooperate.
They agreed to cooperate on the project.
They agreed to cooperate on the project.
Coordinate.
Coordinate.
She will coordinate the event.
She will coordinate the event.
Core.
Core.
The core of the issue needs to be addressed.
The core of the issue needs to be addressed.
Corporate.
Corporate.
He works in the corporate sector.
He works in the corporate sector.
Correspond.
Correspond.
The figures correspond to the data we have.
The figures correspond to the data we have.
Couple.
Couple.
A couple of students were late to class.
A couple of students were late to class.
Create.
Create.
He wants to create a new app.
He wants to create a new app.
Credit.
Credit.
She received credit for her work.
She received credit for her work.
Criteria.
Criteria.
The candidates must meet all the criteria.
The candidates must meet all the criteria.
Crucial.
Crucial.
It is crucial to follow the instructions carefully.
It is crucial to follow the instructions carefully.
Culture.
Culture.
She is fascinated by Japanese culture.
She is fascinated by Japanese culture.
Currency.
Currency.
The local currency is the euro.
The local currency is the euro.
Cycle.
Cycle.
The cycle of seasons continues every year.
The cycle of seasons continues every year.
Data.
Data.
The data was collected over several months.
The data was collected over several months.
Debate.
Debate.
They had a lively debate about the issue.
They had a lively debate about the issue.
Decade.
Decade.
She has been teaching for over a decade.
She has been teaching for over a decade.
Decline.
Decline.
There was a decline in sales last month.
There was a decline in sales last month.
Deduce.
Deduce.
We can deduce that the plan was successful.
We can deduce that the plan was successful.
Define.
Define.
Can you define the term sustainability?
Can you define the term sustainability?
Definite.
Definite.
There is no definite answer to the question.
There is no definite answer to the question.
Demonstrate.
Demonstrate.
She will demonstrate how to use the software.
She will demonstrate how to use the software.
Denote.
Denote.
The symbol denotes a warning.
The symbol denotes a warning.
Deny.
Deny.
He denied the allegations against him.
He denied the allegations against him.
Depress.
Depress.
The gloomy weather tends to depress people.
The gloomy weather tends to depress people.
Design.
Design.
She is studying graphic design.
She is studying graphic design.
Despite.
Despite.
Despite the rain, we went for a hike.
Despite the rain, we went for a hike.
Detect.
Detect.
The test can detect the virus early.
The test can detect the virus early.
Deviate.
Deviate.
Do not deviate from the instructions.
Do not deviate from the instructions.
Device.
Device.
He bought a new electronic device.
He bought a new electronic device.
Devote.
Devote.
She decided to devote more time to her studies.
She decided to devote more time to her studies.
Differentiate.
Differentiate.
It is important to differentiate between the two.
It is important to differentiate between the two.
Dimension.
Dimension.
The dimension of the room is 10 by 12 feet.
The dimension of the room is 10 by 12 feet.
Diminish.
Diminish.
His influence has diminished over the years.
His influence has diminished over the years.
Discrete.
Discrete.
The data was divided into discrete categories.
The data was divided into discrete categories.
Discriminate.
Discriminate.
It is illegal to discriminate based on race.
It is illegal to discriminate based on race.
Displace.
Displace.
The earthquake displaced thousands of people.
The earthquake displaced thousands of people.
Display.
Display.
The store had a beautiful display of flowers.
The store had a beautiful display of flowers.
Dispose.
Dispose.
Please dispose of the trash properly.
Please dispose of the trash properly.
Distinct.
Distinct.
The two species are distinct from each other.
The two species are distinct from each other.
Distort.
Distort.
The mirror can distort your reflection.
The mirror can distort your reflection.
Distribute.
Distribute.
The manager will distribute the bonuses.
The manager will distribute the bonuses.
Diverse.
Diverse.
The city is known for its diverse population.
The city is known for its diverse population.
Document.
Document.
She submitted the document for review.
She submitted the document for review.
Domain.
Domain.
The website is hosted on a secure domain.
The website is hosted on a secure domain.
Domestic.
Domestic.
She handles domestic chores on the weekend.
She handles domestic chores on the weekend.
Dominate.
Dominate.
The company continues to dominate the market.
The company continues to dominate the market.
Draft.
Draft.
He wrote the first draft of his essay.
He wrote the first draft of his essay.
Drama.
Drama.
The drama club is putting on a new play.
The drama club is putting on a new play.
Duration.
Duration.
The duration of the movie is 2 hours.
The duration of the movie is 2 hours.
Dynamic.
Dynamic.
The team is looking for a dynamic leader.
The team is looking for a dynamic leader.
Economy.
Economy.
The economy is showing signs of recovery.
The economy is showing signs of recovery.
Edit.
Edit.
She needs to edit her essay before submitting it.
She needs to edit her essay before submitting it.
Element.
Element.
Water is an essential element for life.
Water is an essential element for life.
Eliminate.
Eliminate.
We need to eliminate the risks.
We need to eliminate the risks.
Emerge.
Emerge.
A new leader will emerge from the group.
A new leader will emerge from the group.
Emphasis.
Emphasis.
The emphasis was on the importance of education.
The emphasis was on the importance of education.
Empirical.
Empirical.
The findings are based on empirical evidence.
The findings are based on empirical evidence.
Enable.
Enable.
This software will enable you to work faster.
This software will enable you to work faster.
Encounter.
Encounter.
They had an unexpected encounter at the cafe.
They had an unexpected encounter at the cafe.
Energy.
Energy.
The new policy focuses on renewable energy.
The new policy focuses on renewable energy.
Enforce.
Enforce.
The police enforce the law.
The police enforce the law.
Enhance.
Enhance.
The new features enhance the software.
The new features enhance the software.
Enormous.
Enormous.
The building is enormous and impressive.
The building is enormous and impressive.
Ensure.
Ensure.
Please ensure that the door is locked.
Please ensure that the door is locked.
Entity.
Entity.
The company is a separate legal entity.
The company is a separate legal entity.
Environment.
Environment.
We need to protect the natural environment.
We need to protect the natural environment.
Equate.
Equate.
You cannot equate wealth with happiness.
You cannot equate wealth with happiness.
Equip.
Equip.
They will equip the lab with new instruments.
They will equip the lab with new instruments.
Equivalent.
Equivalent.
The two products are equivalent in quality.
The two products are equivalent in quality.
Erode.
Erode.
The coastline continues to erode over time.
The coastline continues to erode over time.
Establish.
Establish.
The company was established in 1995.
The company was established in 1995.
Estate.
Estate.
He inherited a large estate from his uncle.
He inherited a large estate from his uncle.
Estimate.
Estimate.
We need to estimate the costs.
We need to estimate the costs.
Ethic.
Ethic.
He has a strong work ethic.
He has a strong work ethic.
Ethnic.
Ethnic.
The city is home to many ethnic groups.
The city is home to many ethnic groups.
Evaluate.
Evaluate.
The teacher will evaluate the student's performance.
The teacher will evaluate the student's performance.
Eventual.
Eventual.
The eventual winner will receive a prize.
The eventual winner will receive a prize.
Evident.
Evident.
It was evident that she was happy.
It was evident that she was happy.
Evolve.
Evolve.
The company needs to evolve to stay competitive.
The company needs to evolve to stay competitive.
Exceed.
Exceed.
The results exceeded our expectations.
The results exceeded our expectations.
Exclude.
Exclude.
You should exclude irrelevant information.
You should exclude irrelevant information.
Exhibit.
Exhibit.
The museum will exhibit the paintings.
The museum will exhibit the paintings.
Expand.
Expand.
The company plans to expand its operations.
The company plans to expand its operations.
Expert.
Expert.
She is an expert in her field.
She is an expert in her field.
Explicit.
Explicit.
The instructions were clear and explicit.
The instructions were clear and explicit.
Exploit.
Exploit.
They seek to exploit new opportunities.
They seek to exploit new opportunities.
Export.
Export.
The country exports goods to many nations.
The country exports goods to many nations.
Expose.
Expose.
The scandal exposed corruption in the government.
The scandal exposed corruption in the government.
External.
External.
The damage was only to the external structure.
The damage was only to the external structure.
Extract.
Extract.
The dentist had to extract the tooth.
The dentist had to extract the tooth.
Facilitate.
Facilitate.
The new software will facilitate communication.
The new software will facilitate communication.
Factor.
Factor.
Cost is an important factor to consider.
Cost is an important factor to consider.
Feature.
Feature.
The car has several new features.
The car has several new features.
Federal.
Federal.
The policy was approved by the federal government.
The policy was approved by the federal government.
Fee.
Fee.
There is a small fee for the service.
There is a small fee for the service.
File.
File.
She saved the file to her computer.
She saved the file to her computer.
Final.
Final.
The final exam is next week.
The final exam is next week.
Finance.
Finance.
She works in the finance department.
She works in the finance department.
Finite.
Finite.
The resources are finite and must be used wisely.
The resources are finite and must be used wisely.
Flexible.
Flexible.
The schedule is flexible and can be adjusted.
The schedule is flexible and can be adjusted.
Focus.
Focus.
She needs to focus on her studies.
She needs to focus on her studies.
Format.
Format.
The format of the report needs to be changed.
The format of the report needs to be changed.
Formula.
Formula.
The company developed a new formula for success.
The company developed a new formula for success.
Forthcoming.
Forthcoming.
The forthcoming book will be released in May.
The forthcoming book will be released in May.
Foundation.
Foundation.
Education is the foundation for a successful future.
Education is the foundation for a successful future.
Framework.
Framework.
The project needs a solid framework.
The project needs a solid framework.
Function.
Function.
The main function of the device is to track time.
The main function of the device is to track time.
Fund.
Fund.
They received a fund to support their research.
They received a fund to support their research.
Fundamental.
Fundamental.
Honesty is a fundamental principle.
Honesty is a fundamental principle.
Furthermore.
Furthermore.
Furthermore, the results were impressive.
Furthermore, the results were impressive.
Gender.
Gender.
The study examined the gender differences.
The study examined the gender differences.
Generate.
Generate.
The machine can generate electricity.
The machine can generate electricity.
Generation.
Generation.
This generation is more tech-savvy.
This generation is more tech-savvy.
Globe.
Globe.
She traveled around the globe.
She traveled around the globe.
Goal.
Goal.
Her goal is to become a doctor.
Her goal is to become a doctor.
Grade.
Grade.
He received a high grade on his test.
He received a high grade on his test.
Grant.
Grant.
They received a grant to continue their research.
They received a grant to continue their research.
Guarantee.
Guarantee.
The product comes with a guarantee.
The product comes with a guarantee.
Guideline.
Guideline.
Follow the guideline to complete the task.
Follow the guideline to complete the task.
Hence.
Hence.
She was late, hence the missed bus.
She was late, hence the missed bus.
Hierarchy.
Hierarchy.
The company has a clear hierarchy.
The company has a clear hierarchy.
Highlight.
Highlight.
She used a marker to highlight the important points.
She used a marker to highlight the important points.
Hypothesis.
Hypothesis.
The hypothesis was tested in the experiment.
The hypothesis was tested in the experiment.
Identical.
Identical.
The twins are identical in appearance.
The twins are identical in appearance.
Identify.
Identify.
Can you identify the problem?
Can you identify the problem?
Ideology.
Ideology.
The politician's ideology influenced his policies.
The politician's ideology influenced his policies.
Ignorant.
Ignorant.
He was ignorant of the facts.
He was ignorant of the facts.
Illustrate.
Illustrate.
She used a chart to illustrate her point.
She used a chart to illustrate her point.
Image.
Image.
The image was clear and sharp.
The image was clear and sharp.
Immigrate.
Immigrate.
Many people immigrate to seek better opportunities.
Many people immigrate to seek better opportunities.
Impact.
Impact.
The new law had a significant impact.
The new law had a significant impact.
Implement.
Implement.
The plan was implemented successfully.
The plan was implemented successfully.
Implicate.
Implicate.
The evidence implicates him in the crime.
The evidence implicates him in the crime.
Implicit.
Implicit.
There was an implicit agreement between them.
There was an implicit agreement between them.
Imply.
Imply.
His words imply that he is unhappy.
His words imply that he is unhappy.
Impose.
Impose.
The government plans to impose new taxes.
The government plans to impose new taxes.
Incentive.
Incentive.
The bonus provides an incentive to work harder.
The bonus provides an incentive to work harder.
Incidence.
Incidence.
There was a high incidence of flu last year.
There was a high incidence of flu last year.
Incline.
Incline.
I incline to agree with your opinion.
I incline to agree with your opinion.
Income.
Income.
Her income increased after the promotion.
Her income increased after the promotion.
Incorporate.
Incorporate.
The recipe incorporates several spices.
The recipe incorporates several spices.
Index.
Index.
The book includes a detailed index.
The book includes a detailed index.
Indicate.
Indicate.
The signs indicate the direction to follow.
The signs indicate the direction to follow.
Individual.
Individual.
Each individual must fill out the form.
Each individual must fill out the form.
Induce.
Induce.
The doctor will induce labor.
The doctor will induce labor.
Inevitable.
Inevitable.
Change is inevitable in life.
Change is inevitable in life.
Infer.
Infer.
From the data, we can infer the outcome.
From the data, we can infer the outcome.
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
The city is investing in its infrastructure.
The city is investing in its infrastructure.
Inherent.
Inherent.
There are inherent risks in any adventure.
There are inherent risks in any adventure.
Inhibit.
Inhibit.
The drug can inhibit the growth of bacteria.
The drug can inhibit the growth of bacteria.
Initial.
Initial.
The initial results were promising.
The initial results were promising.
Initiate.
Initiate.
They plan to initiate a new project.
They plan to initiate a new project.
Injure.
Injure.
He didn't want to injure anyone.
He didn't want to injure anyone.
Innovate.
Innovate.
The company continues to innovate in technology.
The company continues to innovate in technology.
Insert.
Insert.
Insert the card into the machine.
Insert the card into the machine.
Insight.
Insight.
She gained insight into the issue.
She gained insight into the issue.
Inspect.
Inspect.
The inspector will inspect the building.
The inspector will inspect the building.
Instance.
Instance.
For instance, consider the following case.
For instance, consider the following case.
Institute.
Institute.
The institute offers various courses.
The institute offers various courses.
Instruct.
Instruct.
The teacher will instruct the students.
The teacher will instruct the students.
Integrate.
Integrate.
They aim to integrate technology into the classroom.
They aim to integrate technology into the classroom.
Integral.
Integral.
Music is an integral part of her life.
Music is an integral part of her life.
Integrity.
Integrity.
He is known for his integrity and honesty.
He is known for his integrity and honesty.
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Her intelligence impressed everyone.
Her intelligence impressed everyone.
Intense.
Intense.
The heat was intense during the summer.
The heat was intense during the summer.
Interact.
Interact.
The students interact well with each other.
The students interact well with each other.
Intermediate.
Intermediate.
This course is for intermediate learners.
This course is for intermediate learners.
Internal.
Internal.
The issue was resolved by the internal team.
The issue was resolved by the internal team.
Interpret.
Interpret.
Can you interpret the results for us?
Can you interpret the results for us?
Interpretation.
Interpretation.
Her interpretation of the text was unique.
Her interpretation of the text was unique.
Interval.
Interval.
There was a short interval between performances.
There was a short interval between performances.
Intervene.
Intervene.
The teacher had to intervene in the argument.
The teacher had to intervene in the argument.
Intrinsic.
Intrinsic.
Art has intrinsic value beyond its price.
Art has intrinsic value beyond its price.
Invest.
Invest.
She decided to invest in the stock market.
She decided to invest in the stock market.
Investigate.
Investigate.
The police will investigate the incident.
The police will investigate the incident.
Invoke.
Invoke.
He tried to invoke a sense of nostalgia.
He tried to invoke a sense of nostalgia.
Involve.
Involve.
The project will involve several steps.
The project will involve several steps.
Isolate.
Isolate.
They had to isolate the virus in the lab.
They had to isolate the virus in the lab.
Issue.
Issue.
The company addressed the issue promptly.
The company addressed the issue promptly.
Item.
Item.
Each item on the list was checked.
Each item on the list was checked.
Journal.
Journal.
She writes in her journal every night.
She writes in her journal every night.
Justify.
Justify.
He tried to justify his actions.
He tried to justify his actions.
Label.
Label.
The label on the jar was missing.
The label on the jar was missing.
Labor.
Labor.
He did a lot of manual labor.
He did a lot of manual labor.
Layer.
Layer.
Add another layer of paint.
Add another layer of paint.
Lecture.
Lecture.
The professor gave a lecture on history.
The professor gave a lecture on history.
Legal.
Legal.
She provided legal advice.
She provided legal advice.
Legislate.
Legislate.
The government decided to legislate stricter laws.
The government decided to legislate stricter laws.
Levy.
Levy.
The city imposed a levy on new buildings.
The city imposed a levy on new buildings.
Liberal.
Liberal.
He has a liberal approach to teaching.
He has a liberal approach to teaching.
Likewise.
Likewise.
He felt cold, and she likewise was shivering.
He felt cold, and she likewise was shivering.
Link.
Link.
The website provides a link to additional resources.
The website provides a link to additional resources.
Locate.
Locate.
We need to locate the missing files.
We need to locate the missing files.
Logic.
Logic.
The argument was based on sound logic.
The argument was based on sound logic.
Maintain.
Maintain.
It's important to maintain good health.
It's important to maintain good health.
Major.
Major.
She chose biology as her major.
She chose biology as her major.
Manipulate.
Manipulate.
He can manipulate the data easily.
He can manipulate the data easily.
Manual.
Manual.
The manual explains how to use the device.
The manual explains how to use the device.
Margin.
Margin.
The margin of error was small.
The margin of error was small.
Mature.
Mature.
She became more mature over the years.
She became more mature over the years.
Maximize.
Maximize.
We need to maximize our efforts.
We need to maximize our efforts.
Mechanism.
Mechanism.
The mechanism of the clock is intricate.
The mechanism of the clock is intricate.
Media.
Media.
The news was reported by various media outlets.
The news was reported by various media outlets.
Mediate.
Mediate.
She was asked to mediate the dispute.
She was asked to mediate the dispute.
Medium.
Medium.
Oil paint is her preferred medium.
Oil paint is her preferred medium.
Mental.
Mental.
Mental health is just as important as physical health.
Mental health is just as important as physical health.
Method.
Method.
They used a new method to solve the problem.
They used a new method to solve the problem.
Migrate.
Migrate.
Birds migrate south for the winter.
Birds migrate south for the winter.
Military.
Military.
He served in the military for 10 years.
He served in the military for 10 years.
Minimal.
Minimal.
The damage was minimal.
The damage was minimal.
Minimize.
Minimize.
We need to minimize the risks.
We need to minimize the risks.
Minimum.
Minimum.
The minimum age for entry is 18.
The minimum age for entry is 18.
Ministry.
Ministry.
The ministry announced new regulations.
The ministry announced new regulations.
Minor.
Minor.
She suffered a minor injury.
She suffered a minor injury.
Mode.
Mode.
The device has several modes of operation.
The device has several modes of operation.
Modify.
Modify.
You can modify the design as needed.
You can modify the design as needed.
Monitor.
Monitor.
The nurse will monitor the patient's progress.
The nurse will monitor the patient's progress.
Motive.
Motive.
His motive for the action was unclear.
His motive for the action was unclear.
Mutual.
Mutual.
They have mutual respect for each other.
They have mutual respect for each other.
Negate.
Negate.
The evidence seems to negate his claim.
The evidence seems to negate his claim.
Network.
Network.
She joined a professional network.
She joined a professional network.
Neutral.
Neutral.
He remained neutral during the discussion.
He remained neutral during the discussion.
Nevertheless.
Nevertheless.
It was raining, nevertheless, we went out.
It was raining, nevertheless, we went out.
Nonetheless.
Nonetheless.
The task was difficult, nonetheless, she completed it.
The task was difficult, nonetheless, she completed it.
Norm.
Norm.
It's the norm to dress formally for the event.
It's the norm to dress formally for the event.
Notion.
Notion.
She dismissed the notion as ridiculous.
She dismissed the notion as ridiculous.
Notwithstanding.
Notwithstanding.
Notwithstanding the difficulties, they succeeded.
Notwithstanding the difficulties, they succeeded.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
The country is investing in nuclear energy.
The country is investing in nuclear energy.
Objective.
Objective.
Her objective is to finish the project on time.
Her objective is to finish the project on time.
Obtain.
Obtain.
You need to obtain permission first.
You need to obtain permission first.
Obvious.
Obvious.
It was obvious that he was lying.
It was obvious that he was lying.
Occupy.
Occupy.
The event will occupy the entire weekend.
The event will occupy the entire weekend.
Occur.
Occur.
Accidents can occur at any time.
Accidents can occur at any time.
Odd.
Odd.
She noticed an odd smell in the room.
She noticed an odd smell in the room.
Offset.
Offset.
The gains offset the losses.
The gains offset the losses.
Ongoing.
Ongoing.
The investigation is ongoing.
The investigation is ongoing.
Option.
Option.
We have several options to consider.
We have several options to consider.
Orient.
Orient.
She took time to orient herself in the new city.
She took time to orient herself in the new city.
Outcome.
Outcome.
The outcome of the election was surprising.
The outcome of the election was surprising.
Output.
Output.
The factory increased its output this year.
The factory increased its output this year.
Overall.
Overall.
Overall, the project was a success.
Overall, the project was a success.
Overlap.
Overlap.
There is some overlap between the two courses.
There is some overlap between the two courses.
Overseas.
Overseas.
He plans to study overseas next year.
He plans to study overseas next year.
Panel.
Panel.
The panel of judges made the final decision.
The panel of judges made the final decision.
Paradigm.
Paradigm.
The new teaching paradigm focuses on student engagement.
The new teaching paradigm focuses on student engagement.
Paragraph.
Paragraph.
Write a paragraph summarizing the article.
Write a paragraph summarizing the article.
Parallel.
Parallel.
The two lines run parallel to each other.
The two lines run parallel to each other.
Parameter.
Parameter.
We need to set clear parameters for the study.
We need to set clear parameters for the study.
Participate.
Participate.
She will participate in the competition.
She will participate in the competition.
Partner.
Partner.
He is my business partner.
He is my business partner.
Passive.
Passive.
She prefers a passive role in discussions.
She prefers a passive role in discussions.
Perceive.
Perceive.
How do you perceive the situation?
How do you perceive the situation?
Percent.
Percent.
Only 10% of the students passed.
Only 10% of the students passed.
Period.
Period.
The period of study lasted 2 years.
The period of study lasted 2 years.
Perspective.
Perspective.
Try to see things from a different perspective.
Try to see things from a different perspective.
Persist.
Persist.
If symptoms persist, consult a doctor.
If symptoms persist, consult a doctor.
Phase.
Phase.
The project is in its final phase.
The project is in its final phase.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
The Northern Lights are a natural phenomenon.
The Northern Lights are a natural phenomenon.
Philosophy.
Philosophy.
His philosophy is to live life to the fullest.
His philosophy is to live life to the fullest.
Physical.
Physical.
Physical exercise is important for health.
Physical exercise is important for health.
Plus.
Plus.
I have a meeting, plus I need to finish my report.
I have a meeting, plus I need to finish my report.
Policy.
Policy.
The company revised its privacy policy.
The company revised its privacy policy.
Portion.
Portion.
He ate a large portion of the cake.
He ate a large portion of the cake.
Pose.
Pose.
The question posed a challenge.
The question posed a challenge.
Positive.
Positive.
She always has a positive attitude.
She always has a positive attitude.
Potential.
Potential.
The investment has great potential.
The investment has great potential.
Practitioner.
Practitioner.
He is a skilled medical practitioner.
He is a skilled medical practitioner.
Proceed.
Proceed.
The speech will precede the main event.
The speech will precede the main event.
Precise.
Precise.
Please provide a precise answer.
Please provide a precise answer.
Predict.
Predict.
It's hard to predict the weather.
It's hard to predict the weather.
Predominant.
Predominant.
English is the predominant language here.
English is the predominant language here.
Preliminary.
Preliminary.
They conducted a preliminary study.
They conducted a preliminary study.
Presume.
Presume.
I presume you have finished your work.
I presume you have finished your work.
Previous.
Previous.
The previous owner left the house in good condition.
The previous owner left the house in good condition.
Primary.
Primary.
Her primary goal is to graduate.
Her primary goal is to graduate.
Prime.
Prime.
He's in the prime of his career.
He's in the prime of his career.
Principal.
Principal.
The principal reason for the change is cost.
The principal reason for the change is cost.
Principle.
Principle.
She follows the principle of honesty.
She follows the principle of honesty.
Prior.
Prior.
Prior to the meeting, please review the documents.
Prior to the meeting, please review the documents.
Priority.
Priority.
Our priority is to ensure safety.
Our priority is to ensure safety.
Proceed.
Proceed.
We can proceed with the plan.
We can proceed with the plan.
Process.
Process.
This process will take several weeks.
This process will take several weeks.
Professional.
Professional.
She is a professional photographer.
She is a professional photographer.
Prohibit.
Prohibit.
Smoking is prohibited in the building.
Smoking is prohibited in the building.
Project.
Project.
The project is due next month.
The project is due next month.
Promote.
Promote.
The campaign aims to promote healthy living.
The campaign aims to promote healthy living.
Proportion.
Proportion.
The proportion of students to teachers is high.
The proportion of students to teachers is high.
Prospect.
Prospect.
The job has good prospects for advancement.
The job has good prospects for advancement.
Protocol.
Protocol.
Follow the protocol to ensure safety.
Follow the protocol to ensure safety.
Psychology.
Psychology.
She is studying psychology at university.
She is studying psychology at university.
Publication.
Publication.
The publication of the book was delayed.
The publication of the book was delayed.
Publish.
Publish.
They plan to publish the results.
They plan to publish the results.
Purchase.
Purchase.
She made a purchase online.
She made a purchase online.
Pursue.
Pursue.
He wants to pursue a career in law.
He wants to pursue a career in law.
Qualitative.
Qualitative.
They conducted a qualitative analysis.
They conducted a qualitative analysis.
Quote.
Quote.
She chose a quote from the book for her essay.
She chose a quote from the book for her essay.
Radical.
Radical.
The proposal includes radical changes.
The proposal includes radical changes.
Random.
Random.
The winner was chosen at random.
The winner was chosen at random.
Range.
Range.
The store offers a wide range of products.
The store offers a wide range of products.
Ratio.
Ratio.
The ratio of boys to girls is 2:1.
The ratio of boys to girls is 2:1.
Rational.
Rational.
His decision was based on rational thought.
His decision was based on rational thought.
React.
React.
How did she react to the news?
How did she react to the news?
Recover.
Recover.
He hopes to recover quickly from the illness.
He hopes to recover quickly from the illness.
Refine.
Refine.
We need to refine our strategy.
We need to refine our strategy.
Regime.
Regime.
The new regime introduced several reforms.
The new regime introduced several reforms.
Region.
Region.
This region is known for its wine.
This region is known for its wine.
Register.
Register.
You need to register for the event.
You need to register for the event.
Regulate.
Regulate.
The law regulates the use of drones.
The law regulates the use of drones.
Reinforce.
Reinforce.
The teacher reinforced the lesson with examples.
The teacher reinforced the lesson with examples.
Reject.
Reject.
The proposal was rejected by the committee.
The proposal was rejected by the committee.
Relax.
Relax.
He likes to relax on weekends.
He likes to relax on weekends.
Release.
Release.
The company will release a new product.
The company will release a new product.
Relevant.
Relevant.
The information is not relevant to the case.
The information is not relevant to the case.
Reluctance.
Reluctance.
She showed reluctance to join the group.
She showed reluctance to join the group.
Rely.
Rely.
You can rely on him for support.
You can rely on him for support.
Remove.
Remove.
Please remove your shoes before entering.
Please remove your shoes before entering.
Require.
Require.
This job will require a lot of effort.
This job will require a lot of effort.
Research.
Research.
She conducted research on climate change.
She conducted research on climate change.
Reside.
Reside.
They reside in a small town.
They reside in a small town.
Resolve.
Resolve.
They hope to resolve the issue soon.
They hope to resolve the issue soon.
Resource.
Resource.
Water is a vital natural resource.
Water is a vital natural resource.
Respond.
Respond.
He failed to respond to the question.
He failed to respond to the question.
Restore.
Restore.
They plan to restore the old building.
They plan to restore the old building.
Restrain.
Restrain.
He had to restrain his anger.
He had to restrain his anger.
Restrict.
Restrict.
The policy will restrict access to the area.
The policy will restrict access to the area.
Retain.
Retain.
She decided to retain her maiden name.
She decided to retain her maiden name.
Reveal.
Reveal.
The survey revealed some surprising facts.
The survey revealed some surprising facts.
Revenue.
Revenue.
The company's revenue increased last year.
The company's revenue increased last year.
Reverse.
Reverse.
They decided to reverse the decision.
They decided to reverse the decision.
Revise.
Revise.
She needs to revise her essay.
She needs to revise her essay.
Revolution.
Revolution.
The invention sparked a technological revolution.
The invention sparked a technological revolution.
Rigid.
Rigid.
The rules are too rigid and need flexibility.
The rules are too rigid and need flexibility.
Role.
Role.
She plays a key role in the organization.
She plays a key role in the organization.
Route.
Route.
We need to find the fastest route.
We need to find the fastest route.
Scenario.
Scenario.
Imagine a scenario where you win the lottery.
Imagine a scenario where you win the lottery.
Schedule.
Schedule.
The meeting is scheduled for tomorrow.
The meeting is scheduled for tomorrow.
Scheme.
Scheme.
They launched a new scheme to help small businesses.
They launched a new scheme to help small businesses.
Scope.
Scope.
The scope of the project is quite broad.
The scope of the project is quite broad.
Section.
Section.
The book is divided into several sections.
The book is divided into several sections.
Sector.
Sector.
She works in the public sector.
She works in the public sector.
Secure.
Secure.
They need to secure funding for the project.
They need to secure funding for the project.
Seek.
Seek.
We seek to improve our services.
We seek to improve our services.
Select.
Select.
You can select the option that suits you best.
You can select the option that suits you best.
Sequence.
Sequence.
The sequence of events was unclear.
The sequence of events was unclear.
Series.
Series.
She watched the entire series in one weekend.
She watched the entire series in one weekend.
Shift.
Shift.
There has been a shift in public opinion.
There has been a shift in public opinion.
Significant.
Significant.
The discovery was a significant breakthrough.
The discovery was a significant breakthrough.
Similar.
Similar.
These two paintings are similar in style.
These two paintings are similar in style.
Simulate.
Simulate.
The program can simulate real-world conditions.
The program can simulate real-world conditions.
Site.
Site.
The site of the new building is downtown.
The site of the new building is downtown.
Sole.
Sole.
He was the sole survivor of the accident.
He was the sole survivor of the accident.
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
The movie was somewhat entertaining.
The movie was somewhat entertaining.
Source.
Source.
We need to find a reliable source of information.
We need to find a reliable source of information.
Specific.
Specific.
Can you be more specific about your requirements?
Can you be more specific about your requirements?
Specify.
Specify.
Please specify your dietary preferences.
Please specify your dietary preferences.
Sphere.
Sphere.
The debate is in the public sphere.
The debate is in the public sphere.
Stable.
Stable.
The table is stable and won't wobble.
The table is stable and won't wobble.
Statistic.
Statistic.
Statistics show an increase in population.
Statistics show an increase in population.
Status.
Status.
Her status in the company is high.
Her status in the company is high.
Straightforward.
Straightforward.
The instructions were straightforward.
The instructions were straightforward.
Strategy.
Strategy.
They need a new strategy to win.
They need a new strategy to win.
Stress.
Stress.
She felt a lot of stress before the exam.
She felt a lot of stress before the exam.
Structure.
Structure.
The structure of the essay is clear.
The structure of the essay is clear.
Style.
Style.
Her style is unique and recognizable.
Her style is unique and recognizable.
Submit.
Submit.
Please submit your application by Friday.
Please submit your application by Friday.
Subordinate.
Subordinate.
He is subordinate to the manager.
He is subordinate to the manager.
Subsequent.
Subsequent.
Subsequent events proved her right.
Subsequent events proved her right.
Subsidy.
Subsidy.
The government provides a subsidy for farmers.
The government provides a subsidy for farmers.
Substitute.
Substitute.
You can substitute sugar with honey.
You can substitute sugar with honey.
Successor.
Successor.
The successor will be announced soon.
The successor will be announced soon.
Sufficient.
Sufficient.
We have sufficient time to complete the task.
We have sufficient time to complete the task.
Sum.
Sum.
The sum of the angles is 180 degrees.
The sum of the angles is 180 degrees.
Summary.
Summary.
Write a summary of the article.
Write a summary of the article.
Supplement.
Supplement.
She takes a vitamin supplement daily.
She takes a vitamin supplement daily.
Survey.
Survey.
They conducted a survey to gather feedback.
They conducted a survey to gather feedback.
Survive.
Survive.
He managed to survive in the wilderness.
He managed to survive in the wilderness.
Suspend.
Suspend.
The service will be suspended temporarily.
The service will be suspended temporarily.
Sustain.
Sustain.
We need to sustain our efforts to achieve success.
We need to sustain our efforts to achieve success.
Symbol.
Symbol.
The heart is a symbol of love.
The heart is a symbol of love.
Tape.
Tape.
She used tape to fix the broken page.
She used tape to fix the broken page.
Target.
Target.
The campaign targets young adults.
The campaign targets young adults.
Task.
Task.
The task is challenging but achievable.
The task is challenging but achievable.
Team.
Team.
The team worked well together.
The team worked well together.
Technical.
Technical.
He has strong technical skills.
He has strong technical skills.
Technique.
Technique.
She learned a new technique in class.
She learned a new technique in class.
Technology.
Technology.
Technology has advanced rapidly.
Technology has advanced rapidly.
Temporary.
Temporary.
The position is temporary.
The position is temporary.
Tense.
Tense.
The atmosphere was tense during the meeting.
The atmosphere was tense during the meeting.
Terminate.
Terminate.
They decided to terminate the contract.
They decided to terminate the contract.
Text.
Text.
The text is difficult to understand.
The text is difficult to understand.
Theme.
Theme.
The main theme of the book is friendship.
The main theme of the book is friendship.
Theory.
Theory.
The theory needs further testing.
The theory needs further testing.
Thereby.
Thereby.
She worked hard, thereby achieving her goals.
She worked hard, thereby achieving her goals.
Thesis.
Thesis.
He is writing his thesis on climate change.
He is writing his thesis on climate change.
Topic.
Topic.
The topic of the lecture was interesting.
The topic of the lecture was interesting.
Trace.
Trace.
They could trace the source of the problem.
They could trace the source of the problem.
Tradition.
Tradition.
It is a tradition to celebrate the festival.
It is a tradition to celebrate the festival.
Transfer.
Transfer.
He decided to transfer to a new school.
He decided to transfer to a new school.
Transform.
Transform.
The project will transform the city.
The project will transform the city.
Transit.
Transit.
The package is in transit.
The package is in transit.
Transmit.
Transmit.
The radio can transmit signals over long distances.
The radio can transmit signals over long distances.
Transport.
Transport.
The goods will be transported by truck.
The goods will be transported by truck.
Trend.
Trend.
There is a trend toward online shopping.
There is a trend toward online shopping.
Trigger.
Trigger.
The announcement triggered a strong reaction.
The announcement triggered a strong reaction.
Ultimate.
Ultimate.
His ultimate goal is to be a doctor.
His ultimate goal is to be a doctor.
Undergo.
Undergo.
The building will undergo renovations.
The building will undergo renovations.
Underlie.
Underlie.
These principles underlie the new policy.
These principles underlie the new policy.
Undertake.
Undertake.
She will undertake the new project.
She will undertake the new project.
Uniform.
Uniform.
The students wear a uniform to school.
The students wear a uniform to school.
Unify.
Unify.
The goal is to unify the different groups.
The goal is to unify the different groups.
Unique.
Unique.
She has a unique style of painting.
She has a unique style of painting.
Utilize.
Utilize.
We need to utilize our resources wisely.
We need to utilize our resources wisely.
Valid.
Valid.
The ticket is valid for 1 year.
The ticket is valid for 1 year.
Vary.
Vary.
The results may vary depending on the method.
The results may vary depending on the method.
Vehicle.
Vehicle.
He bought a new vehicle.
He bought a new vehicle.
Version.
Version.
This is the latest version of the software.
This is the latest version of the software.
Via.
Via.
She traveled to Paris via London.
She traveled to Paris via London.
Violate.
Violate.
The company violated environmental regulations.
The company violated environmental regulations.
Virtual.
Virtual.
The meeting was held in a virtual environment.
The meeting was held in a virtual environment.
Visible.
Visible.
The mountains are visible from the city.
The mountains are visible from the city.
Vision.
Vision.
She has a clear vision for the future.
She has a clear vision for the future.
Visual.
Visual.
The movie had stunning visual effects.
The movie had stunning visual effects.
Volume.
Volume.
The volume of water in the tank is low.
The volume of water in the tank is low.
Voluntary.
Voluntary.
Participation in the event is voluntary.
Participation in the event is voluntary.
Welfare.
Welfare.
The government is concerned about public welfare.
The government is concerned about public welfare.
Widespread.
Widespread.
The disease is widespread in the area.
The disease is widespread in the area.
Whereas.
Whereas.
He likes tea, whereas I prefer coffee.
He likes tea, whereas I prefer coffee.
Whereby.
Whereby.
She established a system whereby everyone could share their ideas.
She established a system whereby everyone could share their ideas.
感谢您的观看。如果您喜欢这个视频，别忘了点赞和订阅英语潮。期待在下一个视频中见到你。